Chapter 5 of Who Was Ben Franklin? Chapter 5, Doing Good. What is serving God? Poor Richard asked in 1747. His answer, doing good to man. After retiring from printing, Ben Franklin tried to do just that. He had always liked science. Electricity fascinated him. Besides doing his kite experiment, Ben had made an early electric battery. In fact, he coined the terms electric battery, electric shock, and conductor. Ben once tried to cook a turkey using electricity from Leyden jars. Unfortunately, he touched the wires and knocked himself out. I wanted to cook a turkey, but I nearly killed a goose, he joked. Still, he believed that one day people will cook and do other daily tasks with electricity. He was right, of course. On his voyages, Franklin became the first scientist to study a powerful ocean current. He named it the Gulf Stream. Ben found that it could slow down or speed up ships. The Gulf Stream was warmer than the water around it, Franklin learned. To find the Gulf Stream, sailors just had to dip a thermometer into the ocean. Franklin did a clever experiment with heat. He got many cloth patches from a tailor. They were different colors: black, blue, green, purple, red, yellow, and white. On a sunny winter morning, he laid the patches on the snow. After a while, he saw that the black patch had sunk the deepest into the snow. The white patch had sunk the least. Why? Dark colors take in more heat from the sun than light ones. Therefore, the black cloth had melted more snow than any of the other cloth covers. To this day, people take Franklin's advice. On hot, sunny days, they wear light colors to stay cool. Here's a couple pictures for you. So this one is like the experiment that he's talking about. Ben's ideas about health were very modern. At the time, people thought that strange vapors in the air caused illness. Although germs weren't known yet, Franklin said that many diseases were spread from person to person. Fresh air was healthy, he argued. People should sleep with a window open. And they should take a daily air bath. This meant sitting naked with the windows open, as Ben did for an hour each day. He also told people to exercise. Besides swimming and walking, he lifted dumbbells until he was in his 80s. Everything interested Ben Franklin. One day, Ben and his son Billy were riding through Maryland. Suddenly, a tornado appeared. It was in the form of a sugar loaf, spinning on its point, moving up the hill towards us, he wrote. What did Ben do? He rode his horse towards the twister. Billy followed. They kept pace with the tornado for nearly a mile. They only stopped when tree branches flew near them. It was a dangerous thing to do, but Ben was curious. What good is science that does not apply to some use? Ben once asked. He invented a number of things to improve people's lives. The lightning rod is best known. The Franklin stove was another of his creations. Ben invented this heating device around 1740. Franklin stoves directed heat from a fireplace into a room instead of letting most of it go up the chimney. They were placed in many homes. This is a picture of the Franklin stove, if you're curious. So it went right into the stove and it shot the air outwards, the heat outwards, so that people would feel it. The oil street lamps of the time often burned quite quickly. Ben decided to design a better lamp. He invented a lamp with a squarish shape. It had a funnel at the top to draw up the smoke. Franklin lamps burned all night. Ben's eyes widened with age. Ben's eyes weakened with age. The time came when he needed 2 pairs of eyeglasses. One pair was for reading. The second was for seeing things far away. Keeping track of 2 pairs of glasses was a bother. In 1784, he invented bifocals. Lenses for both close and distant vision were combined into one pair of glasses. Millions of people wear bifocals today. There's some pictures of the Franklin street lamp and bifocals. Franklin loved music. He wrote songs. He played the violin, guitar, and harp. Around 1761, Ben invented a new instrument. Different sized glass bowls were kept spinning on a cradle. The bowls' rims were wet. When a person held his fingers against the wet spinning bowls, it made music. Franklin's new instrument was called the glass harmonica. It was played at concerts in Europe and America for about 40 years. Another of Ben's inventions was an artificial arm. He used it to take books down from his high shelves. The device was later used for taking items off top shelves in grocery stores. His inventions could have made him a fortune, but Ben refused to profit from them. The opportunity to serve others was payment enough for him, he explained. Philadelphia was more than just a place to live for Ben. He loved the city. He wanted to improve it in any way he could. That led him into public service. Books were costly and hard to find in colonial days. In 1731, Ben founded the Library Company of Philadelphia. The members paid dues. The money was spent on books, which the members could borrow for free. This was a step in creating America's public library system. Fire was a great danger in an age of houses were mostly made of wood. Ben founded the Union Fire Company in 1736. It was America's first volunteer fire department. Philadelphia became one of the world's most fire-safe cities. Not even Ben Franklin dreamed of a day when there would be telephones, TVs, and computers. The colonists stayed in touch by using mail, but mail often came late or not at all. Franklin became Philadelphia's postmaster in 1737. English officials noted his fine work. They named him acting postmaster for America in 1753. Ben hired more letter carriers. He made better mail routes. Mail delivery in the colonies was greatly improved. Remember our rule about being on camera, guys. Don't put anything on there that would be distracting. Thank you. Philadelphia needed a hospital and a school for higher learning. Again, Ben stepped forward. He helped found the Philadelphia Academy. Later, it became known as the University of Philadelphia. The same year the Academy opened, 1751, he helped start the Pennsylvania Hospital. It was the country's first general hospital. By the 1750s, Philadelphia was America's leading city. Much of the credit belonged to Benjamin Franklin. Franklin entered politics in 1736. He was chosen clerk of Pennsylvania's Assembly, or legislature, which meant in Philadelphia. For 15 years, he recorded debates and votes. But he later recalled, "I grew at length tired with sitting there to hear debates in which, as clerk, I could take no part." He didn't want to just write about events. He wanted to take part in them. In 1751, he ran for an assembly seat and won. Three years later, the French and Indian War from 1754 to 1763 began. This war was fought over control of North America. On one side was France, helped by her Indian allies. On the other was England, aided by her 13 American colonies. Ben raised troops to help England. He even served as a general. With his son William's help, Ben led troops to the frontier. The father and son built forts. They organized patrols to protect settlers. More trouble was brewing. Pennsylvania had been named for the Penns. They were an English family who had founded the colony. The Penns still ran Pennsylvania, but during the French and Indian War, the colonists became angry at the Penns. They claimed that the family wasn't paying enough to fight the war. In 1757, the Pennsylvania Assembly asked Franklin to visit England. His job was to get money from the Penns. Debbie stayed home with 13-year-old Sally. William went along with his father. Their ship was almost captured by French ships. Off England, they were nearly shipwrecked, but they made it through the fog and arrived in London in July. Ben had no idea at the time that he would spend most of his remaining years overseas. We have a couple minutes left. Let's start chapter 6. So we're going to start chapter 6. It's called Revolution. So we're going to start to learn about the American Revolution. Chapter 6, Revolution. The Franklins moved into a London apartment, but Ben showed Billy places he had known in his days as a younger printer. Besides helping his father, Billy studied law in London. He became friends with rich young English people. Soon, Billy seemed more English than American. Ben was pleased. England ruled the colonies. Ben hoped that one day Billy would serve in the English government. Ben needed 3 years to complete his mission. In 1760, the British government agreed that Pennsylvania deserved help. The Penns had to pay more money for the French and Indian War, but the Franklins did not get home yet. Ben enjoyed the attention he was getting as America's greatest scientist and inventor. Billy was about to get an important job. In August 1762, the King of England named William Franklin Royal Governor of New Jersey. Soon after being named to run New Jersey for the king, William was married. His wife was named Elizabeth Downs. He had met her at a party. The newlyweds sailed to America. They settled in Burlington, New Jersey. Ben returned to his wife and daughter. Only 15 miles separated Philadelphia and Burlington. Ben and his son saw each other often. And I think that is a good place to stop for today.